Maya DiGiorgio. Okay. Yes, South Africa checking in. What up, South Africa? How you doing? What up, Smitty? It's been Frankie Knuckles' birthday week, right? I got a video in right before midnight on Friday for the Frankie Knuckles because I don't do every Friday, but I was like, I gotta do Frankie Knuckles. Okay. So, yes. Greetings from Sweden. Hello. Hello. Of course, I forgot. It's been so long. It's like I should write it down and have it as a note every time I come on the show how to say hello in Sweden. Harlem on the what up, Eric Prince? Ain't it cold? How's your heat in your apartment? My landlord is he's playing some serious games this year with the heat. I don't know about y'all, but my landlord, he has figured out the system. He has figured out exactly what temperature the apartments have to be in. He has like heat sensors or in each apartment so he could save money. But in New York City, these apartments are like there's corners where there's like it changes. Like I bought a heat sensor of my own and I put one in one corner. It was 65 degrees. Okay, that's getting close. 65. And then another corner is like 72. And then my bathroom is like 68. And because it's also breezy and I also get drafts from my window. So it's cold. I didn't want to do nothing. And this is weird because, like, the story of New York is like most of these apartments, usually it's so hot because you don't control the heat. The landlords do. It gets so hot, you have to actually open a window. So there is a lot of wasting of heat. Oh, you have to close up the air conditioning vents. Oh, yeah, that probably would help. Hmm. I should probably do that. I have plastic wrap, like that stuff that you can put over your window that blocks the air. But you know what? I want to just take the air conditioner out. That's what I want to do. But I'm jealous that your heat is good. Like I woke up this morning, I didn't want to. It's hard to get out of the bed when it's that cold. It reminds me of being a kid, and my aunt used to save like money on her heat bill, and we'd have to get up and go to school in the cold. It was like waking up in the cold. The floor was your feet touching the floor was cold. Getting in all of it was cold. It was just the worst wake up. I don't like being cold. I don't like being hot. And I'm gonna have a hot flash during this too, by the way. Um oh, okay. Here I did mid dig. What is that? Is that how are you? How are they mid dig? I gotta take a screenshot of that so I can remember that for the next time. I hope I'm actually saying how are you doing? Oh my god. Of course Vivian likes sleeping with the windows open. She's probably going through the phase too. Oh my god. By the way, talking about menopause on stage is so much fun. The audience is really into it. Hajj. Hajj. Oh, that's right. Hajj. Okay, I'm taking a screenshot of that. I am never forgetting that ever again. Sweden, that's because of my tremendous amount of smoking the cannabis and the menopause. That's what causes like memory lapse and all those good things. It's a combination of both. I have 5 shows tonight. 5. So I have 3 shows at Gotham Comedy Club. I don't know if you guys heard of Gotham Comedy Club, but I'm there on a regular there monthly, as well as the Comedy Cellar. I'm also at the New York Comedy Club tonight. So I've got 5. There's no reason if you're in New York City that you haven't caught me. There's so many venues. And I don't post my local gigs as much as I do my road gigs, but I am going to be on the road in Houston on February 2nd. It's called, I always mess this up because it is one of those dual, like there's like 2, the space is different from the actual production company. that produces it, but I think it's called Private Space. Hold on, I'm gonna get it. Yeah, it's Secret Group. That's it. It's called The Secret Group. That's the name of the venue. The Secret Group. And Comedy Space is presenting me, I should say. Marina Franklin, my first time ever being in Houston, Texas. Looking forward to it because I hope it's warm. I just need one day where I'm not cold. And like I get hot flashes, but I still don't like to be cold like this. Um, I'm not like freezing, okay? But I like I like things I like the option in the winter time to be able to open a window. That's all I'm saying. So February 2nd, Comedy Space at The Secret Group in Houston, Texas. So if you're watching this and you are anywhere near Houston, Texas, and you want to see me, go and get those tickets or tell a friend that lives in the area. I think my cousin Ayana, I think I wrote you. So, hey, it's time for a European tour. I agree. Okay. I would love it. I have to get on that. I'm working on it. I am on it this year because this girl has a killer set it's rocking it. Um oh, when it's warming up. No, y'all need to come on out that house. Stop being bears. Stop it. Come on out that house. And you're going to be back in Berlin. Oh, that's right. Did you just come back from the trip? Or were you just in Berlin, Eric? Eric Prince is a DJ, by the way, who, as I was just talking about, this is Frankie Knuckles' birthday week. You should all know who Frankie Knuckles is. I mean, you don't have to, but he, as far as I'm concerned, he is the DJ of all DJs. We all know him, Frankie Knuckles. He passed away way too soon. And he produced a lot of amazing music, created a lot of amazing music. One, which is on my Instagram right now, the Whistle Song. I love that song. Yes, and they used it in a Lipton tea commercial, which pissed me off. I'm glad that commercial is no more. Do people still do Lipton iced tea? And do you drink iced tea in the winter? I guess people do drink iced tea. Became Arizona, right? You'll be there in November. Okay. All right. Check you out in November. That is awesome. Also, if you are in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, or anywhere near Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, I will be performing on February 10th at the Still Stacks. Yes, that's the Still Stacks. I'll be headlining there on February 10th. Um, you know what, Smitty? Okay, look, Smitty, you're always coming to New York, but you don't tell me. You tell me after you've been here, then you get back and you go, I was just there. So you said, let me know about these local gigs. I'm in New York quite often. I would definitely come through. After all, I did win your quiz on the Whistle Song Lipton Tea commercial. Yeah, that was the last time. Frankie was he was your dude. He was all of our dudes. Yes. They did a lot of tributes to him on a lot of popular podcasts. Um, there's a couple of podcasts that I listen to that produce house music. And Eric Prince, I'm sure after this show, if you haven't already, you've probably already have done some of your own dedication to Frankie Knuckles. If you have not, why? Why, Eric? Why? What you holding off for? He's on Twitch. He could put your link to your Twitch channel in the chat. Do that, Eric Prince, because he's going to DJ directly after we get off at 4. So yeah. Now the thing that I listen to is house music all night long. It's called the Defected Radio, which produces a lot of DJs. They get behind a lot of DJs like Remarkable, which is spelled with an I. She's a female DJ that I really like. And DJ Monday Blue, she's another female DJ that I like. And Natasha Diggs, another female DJ that I love. I love all of these women. And on here is Lori Branch, if she's watching. Lori Branch is the queen of house as far as there's Lori Branch, and then there is oh my god, I'm forgetting hi perfect people. Hello. We are perfect. The my co-host will be joining us any minute now to talk over me, which he loves to do. Um Oh, I do, James. I do like the herbal teas. I was actually trying to explain to someone last night that you could get some cannabis tea if you're having sleep issues, and you could get it without the drug effect or the effect of being high. Because she was saying she's going through menopause and she's had like maybe 4 hours of sleep in the past like month and a half. And I was like, yeah, that's because you're at the beginning stages of not knowing how to manage this. It catches everyone off guard. And I would say that's probably the reason to talk about it, because a lot of women like enter menopause and they don't really, it's like they don't know what's happening to their bodies and they don't know what's going on. And it's like invasion, like the body snatchers. Mariana. Who's Mariana? I'm Marina. But Mariana sounds funny. Wonder if she'll come to Ohio. Well, I don't know about Mariana, but Marina would love to come to Ohio. Ohio. I hear Chappelle is opening a comedy club there. So no need. No need. But yes, thank you. It's Marina. I would love to come to Ohio. I used to go to Ohio years ago. I used to open for Bill Burr years ago in Ohio. Forget who else. Ralph Harris I opened for in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, at the Funny Bones there. And I you know what? As a new comic, I really appreciated the audiences there. They like loved they had an appreciation for comedy. I wonder if it's still like that. Mm. So there. I have an in. Yes, I do. Yes. Yes, I do. Oh, so just a reminder of why I do this. I do this to promote the podcast, Friends Like Us podcast, which you can find on all the platforms. My link tree that is scrolling like right there. You see that? I need to do my nails. I'm not one of those girls that has the fancy nails. I get very jealous of that. You see that link tree? Go to that. I'll put it in the chat too. Link TR. And you can also get links to those shows that I just mentioned on that link tree. But more importantly, to listen to the podcast Friends Like Us, because we got a really good episode coming up with Ashima Franklin, who was on tour with Cat Williams, and we have Suzette Simon, who's talking about her breast cancer awareness. And she has some really important information that she's talking about on the show, things that I don't really even talk about regularly, but like things that you should know to check yourself. And also, like, she did like breast cancer Barbie. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't there be a breast cancer Barbie? I mean, look how many women are suffering from who get breast cancer. That's a lot, like I really like most of my friends, either they get it or it's like I think I have like 10 friends with breast cancer. Like it's a lot of women, okay? So it's really important. So why wouldn't there be a breast cancer Barbie? I mean, the color's pink. Makes sense to me. Oh, thank you for saying that. I am adorable. Mm, mm, oh. That sound was not good. Sorry. I'm so adorable. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm waking up my face. Woo! So there was no farmers market today because it's so freaking cold. They canceled it. They were like, "Nope, we ain't going to be there." I would love to do a show in Richmond, Virginia too. It's warmer. Yeah. I've actually performed in Richmond, Virginia too. I used to do the Funny Bones there. So I would love to go back to Richmond, Virginia. These are all the places you're mentioning that I've been to that I love. But I am going to be in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania on February 10th and Houston, Texas for the first time ever, February 2nd. And obviously, all these local gigs that you could see me at Comedy Cellar, Gotham Comedy Club, New York Comedy Club, all of it is great. They're actually calling me. Look, watch this. Hello.
Hey, Marina, it's Liz from Gotham. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I was just calling to confirm you for, looks like 6:45, 9:30, and 11 p.m.
Yes, thank you. I will be
Great.
there. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Of course. We'll see you then.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye. But see that? That's 3 shows. 6:45. That means I got to get off when I get off. Okay, so we're going to enter the man. He's going to come on the show. You know, he's going to talk a lot. He's got a lot to say. He always has a lot to say. Always. Welcome. Get ready. Here he comes. The man. The myth. Oh, wait. Hold on. Here in Chicago, they brought some farmers markets inside to combat. Oh, that makes sense. Why wouldn't they do a farmers market inside? Why not? The man, the myth, the legend, not the legend.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, how was the birthday party?
My birthday's in August, you dumb stupid. Oh, David tells you. It was, you're going to turn me off? You can't now because there's.
Oh, you saw I was looking.
I
looked like I was looking for the
I know your
button.
facial expressions now. It was really interesting because this horrible woman, drunk woman, sat down with us like the entire meal, and Attell just made fun of her for like a half hour, and she just didn't get it, and we were dying laughing. So it kind of made the birthday. At one point, we had a cake with candles. He blew out the candles. And everybody's like, make a wish, or she said, make a wish. He blows out the candles, and then he goes, "Oh, you're still here." It was, and she still didn't leave. Jesus.
Oh my God.
But that kind of thing sometimes is funny, especially when you have somebody like Attell who is just giving it to somebody and they not getting it. It's even funnier.
They usually don't get it. That's the thing. If they're drunk, they usually don't. Like you have to have someone.
I'm surprised the staff didn't just say, leave them alone.
Yeah, why
she was a
didn't
regular
they?
there. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, that's awful. Yeah, why wouldn't the staff get involved and be like, beat it?
I mean, I guess I could have, gone like this and just been like, come here, but
A stream deck? No. I just couldn't find it. It's easy to kick him off here too. I just couldn't. I wasn't really
I think they have a rule when it comes to the farmer markets or outside, at least with the vegetables. They definitely have a rule. You're not allowed to be out there under a certain temperature.
Oh,
I don't know whether it's under 40 degrees. I know because one of the guys in the building runs the fruit stand right outside the building to take over for this one guy sometimes. I don't know whether it's his, it's an older guy, so I don't know whether it's his stand and somebody works for him or he's just doing the guy a favor for lunch. But he told me that they're not allowed to be out there under, I don't know whether it's 40 degrees or like 37 or something like that. There's limits, I guess, over and under. So it might be if they close down the whole farmer's market, maybe there is a rule of a temperature like this. You're just not allowed to sell certainly food items. But,
What did you do this week that you're coming in with such good information? Did you have your vitamins or?
Well, I had a cup of coffee.
I mean, you're on it today.
Well, I did start teaching this week, so I feel like I have a lot of good information.
Oh, your brain is moving.
It's moving for educating the young.
I see. Which I don't know if Duncan, are you here?
Speaking of young,
yes.
Well, anyway,
he passed this week. The oldest, the last to pass from the
honeymooners, Joyce Randolph.
Yes.
99.
99.
And of course the the one it's like having Joyce DeWitt still alive from Three's Company. Really? Her? The worst.
That's the one with the curly hair?
Yeah. I mean, at least Larry's still around, thank God. I want him to be the last, but I'm glad Larry's still around. But Janet, I mean, we need John Ritter to be around. We want Jackie Gleason and Ed Norton to be around, like not Joyce Randolph. She was the worst actress there was, Trixie.
Well, it's interesting. The ones that they make it's funny how they make them look older than they are on those shows. Like that woman, was she that old?
No, you talking about his wife who played
Yeah.
Alice, Audrey Meadows. They did make her up, but they made her up to look more unattractive. When apparently she got the job, they said she was too attractive to play Ralph's wife. So she sent him a picture where she was made up looking like she does in the show. And that's why maybe she looks a little older. I don't know how. I mean, it seemed like everybody we grew up on was older.
Yes.
Even everybody that seemed to be our age was older. It seemed that way.
Look at that. Joe says, I think I'm going to keep that up the whole time.
Yeah, you should, because you know what happened to me today, and this is the first time it's ever happened in New York. I guess I've just woken up and I looked in the mirror after it happened. I had my hat on, and I guess my eyes looked very old. And I went into Dunkin' Donuts, and they gave me a senior discount without even asking. I just saw it on the cash register. Senior minus 52 cents.
No, are you
First time it's ever
serious?
happened. Yeah.
Oh,
They do it at this
did you put on makeup today?
No. I guess I should, right?
No, you look exactly the same.
I'm all wide awake now. I noticed in the morning, I guess it was all kind of yucky, but goddamn, it's like good and bad, because I'm like, ooh, the discount, but the guy didn't even ask, and I didn't even know Dunkin' Donuts gave a senior discount. Maybe the guy was new and there isn't one, and he's just like, oh well, you better give him. I don't know what happened. I thought I looked younger with the hat on, but I guess I looked older. And of course, the only time that's happened before is at the farmer's market at an apples where I get apple cider and stuff. It's a farm by my mom's house. I'll get apple cider there.
Oh no.
And they just go like, and with the senior discount.
Oh no, with the senior discount.
And I'm like, with the senior discount, she's like, well, you are over 65, aren't you? I'm like, well, yeah, no. I was surprised that yes, of course. I mean, what Jew is not?
We're all gonna get old. This week I had
since I was 30.
I had a woman in the audience who didn't want to. She disrupted the show with the comic before me because it was her birthday with her daughter. She was in the front row. The comedian was like, "Are you going to talk the whole time?" Right. So then I was next. So I go, "How old are you?"
And she goes, up real good.
Oh. Oh, she goes. I go, if you're gonna disrupt the show, let's hear it. Let's get the information. She's like, no. I go, no. You disrupted. You were talking. You wanted people to recognize it was your birthday. So let's hear it. She goes, I say my age. I'm gonna tell you. I go, come on. I do. It doesn't matter. It's never helped me to not. It's never helped.
There's no need.
But who cares? We're all gonna get old.
I don't know. For some reason, it's disappointing when you say your age because you look so much younger.
I think it makes people mad. I've seen girls.
That's what I'm saying. It makes people mad.
I've seen girls look like they think that I'm lying to them or something. Like I've been a fraud the whole time, and then I say my age, and they're like, "Wait a minute."
Well, your act is very fraudulent because you're not really talking about yourself. These are, other things
I
that
do
happen to other
talk about
people.
myself.
Oh, is that right? Oh, I see.
Everyone on here knows that. You're in the wrong audience here, motherfucker.
Well, it's funny. Remember, I think I told you that, as you know, the reason why I stink as a comic.
Venus, yes. Go ahead. Sorry.
I used to do imitations. That was what I did. That's how I got, brought up in comedy. And now, of course, nobody knows who I was doing. I had to stop. And, you're supposed to talk about yourself in comedy. That's how you get to the level that you're at. And all the friends we know, you talk about yourself. And
some people don't. I had a conversation recently with someone who said that they don't talk about themselves.
Well, that's the way you become huge, right? So I never wanted to do that. For some reason, I don't know why. So a lot of times I get out of comedy and then they keep pulling me back in because I have friends like Sarah Silverman, whose manager will call. I'm like, Sarah needs you to open for her. And I'm like, why? I don't do comedy anymore. Well, you better get ready. She's not taking no for an answer, right? So then I got to go on a thing and hope to get booked somewhere so I can practice, right? Most people get it. They're like, oh, if he's doing this, I can let him in. So I bring this, I don't know whether I've told you this, I bring this 22-year-old girl from my office. I'm like, hey, do you want this weekend? I'm doing a couple of sets because I'm practicing. Do you want to come with me? She knows nothing about comedy. She's a paralegal at the office. And she goes, sure. So she comes and I do a set at the Grizzly Pear or something. And I go, what do you think? And I was doing imitations. I'm doing Michael Caine. I'm doing Ruth Gordon. Maybe not Ruth Gordon because nobody knows that. But I go, what do you think? She goes, maybe you should talk about yourself on stage. And I'm like, what do you know about comedy, you dumb whore? She was completely correct, but I just didn't want to hear it. Now I've been doing it more.
Good.
And now finally putting a little bit more out there, and it's been working, I guess. I do feel better about doing comedy. As a matter of fact, I didn't want to brag about it. I didn't want to brag, but on Friday, since you were going to ask later in the program, I will be performing at the Elks Club in Weehawken, New Jersey. So if anybody wants to come, I didn't want to brag about it, but I really got it going on. Oh, Venus Boy, you'd like to hear some Ruth Gordon? I'll give it to you now. Relax. You gotta learn to live a little. I called your father yesterday. You're gonna be all right. That's what I do. I live life. I have a good time. What? Crazy.
You know what? The last time I used the sound effects, Facebook recognized it as if I was stealing music. It was weird.
You're joking.
I'm not. They blocked it.
Okay, that's when it goes too far. We've crossed the limit now.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Now nobody can do anything anymore.
What?
It's over.
I was like, I don't have
Thank you,
energy.
Venus Boys 3. Thank you.
We have our young student is
wonderful
here.
Boy. I like you. Venus Boys, such a nice boy.
We have our young student here. He
doesn't like it.
He's streaming. He is watching us from, I want you all to notice, from the Friends Like Us page that we now have set up on YouTube.
Well, he must recognize my Ruth Gordon. He must have said right away, that must be his Ruth Gordon. Well, how could that be? She was just on the Love Boat last week. I just saw it on MeTV.
Oh my
God! She was trying to get her daughter Patty Duke a man. You gotta get out there. There's a perfect doctor waiting for you. Yep, the Elks Club, James. What are you gonna do?
They say that Marina has the best vocals of any comedian, and I will agree.
Well, we do like singing together. You have a lovely singing voice, and you have a really good speaking voice.
And I impersonate.
You should actually do some book, voiceover stuff.
Voiceover work you have to be in the end scene or something. It's a very who you know scene.
You're wrong, DJ Eric. Plenty of people are enjoying it.
Nobody.
No, it's so weird. I saw this Love Boat episode.
Look at this.
Exactly. Yes.
From Smitty. Of course, from a guy named Smitty. I love you, Smitty.
But I saw the Love Boat episode last week. Was one I remember as a kid. It's Robert Epstein from Welcome Back, Kotter, and Maureen McCormick from the Brady Bunch. And Maureen McCormick is just hitting on Epstein. It's so hot. And he's trying to get laid, and he's a virgin, and it's and that's the one that Ruth Gordon was on. And I remember this so well, Marina. It's Phil Foster. Remember Laverne DeFazio's father in Laverne and Shirley? And he plays an aging comic. I remember watching the first run, and I was like, God, I hope I never become that. And then I did. But that's not the point. He was like an aging comic. He was very unfunny. And Julie's his niece. And he's like, can you give me a chance on the boat? Just give me a chance. And she's like, no, you're a horrible comic. And then he pretends to have a heart attack, and she feels bad for him. So she's like going to give him a spot on the boat. And then she goes into his cabin with some medicine, and he's doing those weights because he was faking the heart attack. And so then He does the show and everybody hates it and he's awful and she leaves because she can't take it. Yeah, I hope so in the Moose Lodge. But she can't take it. And then it turns out he starts talking about being old and starts talking about himself and the audience loves it. And I always remembered as a kid before, I was like, well, that's probably the kind of stand-up I'm going to do. It's
Well,
going to take me
I don't
until I'm
think he'll
old.
mind me mentioning this, but it was Dan Natterman who said that to me. He was like, "I don't really it's not personal material." I go, "It feels like it. It's not, Dan? Your material's not
Wait.
personal to
Somebody
you?"
actually told you you're not doing personal material?
No, about himself.
Oh, okay. No, yes. That's true. He's just like me, started to do more personal stuff. I've noticed that in his act. He wasn't doing it for a long time. I think
He says he still doesn't do it.
he's getting more. I've noticed more stuff that he's talking about being a virgin in college and stuff like that, which is very hard to say as a comic, especially when you were trying to get laid
Oh my
when he was
god.
younger.
Not harder
So
than talking about menopause. Ugh.
right. So these are the
Menopause
things.
just I said this last
Well,
night. You could have
putting
felt
yourself out there.
the room when I said I just said menopause and it feels like
Well, there's a
menopause.
double standard in comedy. We don't want to hear about your period or menopause. We don't want to see the commercials for it. It's a complete double sexist standard.
It's so true, but I have this funny bit that I'm doing right now about it,
I'll be the
and
judge.
I'm always happy.
Yeah, I believe he is JWB.
I'm always happy when I can get a bit that is so hard to get an audience to get on board with, and I find the humor. That to me is the best part of
Well, of
this.
course, that's the best. If you can do something a bit or something dark that you've won over the audience. I mean, that's a miracle. That's
It's
really
Stan's
good.
still a virgin.
No, I know for a fact he is not.
Yes, we know. We have heard the stories actually. No, he's not. Mm. But yeah, he
I mean, are you a virgin if you do it once and then you never have it again for 20 years? So I don't know. Can you get it back?
I feel like I'm a virgin all of a sudden. It's been long enough
Me
for
too.
me. I told you that I was assaulted on New Year's Eve and I didn't
Oh
it's
yeah.
been so long I didn't even know.
You were
I was
getting assaulted.
confused. I was like, "What's that?"
Oh my God, Marina. I'm teaching this class in 80s movies and it is all just misogynistic, horrible. I've been watching a lot of these movies or rewatching some of them. So last night I watched this movie I hadn't seen that I knew about, Hot Dog the movie. Do you
Mm.
remember the name of it at all? 1984. David Naughton, the guy who was an American Werewolf in London, and a cast of no names. It's a complete sex comedy of skiing. And what I witnessed while watching yesterday horrified me so much that I'm not even sure if I want to mention it in class. It was so disturbing, and it's so funny that there were all these movies were made like this back then. They go to a bar and it's a wet t-shirt contest for the women, and there's a guy and the men are throwing their women up there and they're like, no, I don't want to go, and they're dragging them up there. Stuff we know now, but I guess as kids we were like,
Yeah.
that's hilarious. And they're just spraying them with water and taking off their top, like the men are taking off the tops, and it's really disturbing. It's not sexy, it's weird, because now what we know, it becomes incredibly disturbing.
You're right on par with this article that I was gonna read, not the whole thing. Happy New Year to you, England.
I got a little work.
Happy New Year, Marcus. Happy New Year. You can still say it, yes.
No, you can't.
Yes, you
I
can.
think after the 20th is the end.
No, there's no rule.
I do, Mr. Noise, I do teach a class like Porky. I tell the kids about Porky's all the time. It's my, the one I go to where I'm like, I can't believe they ever made
So
this. And it
Hugh
was so successful.
Hefner's widow says, I must have been brainwashed. Crystal Hefner talks to the New York Times ahead of her new memoir, obviously, so that you buy it. I think I want to get this one, in which she notes she wasn't in love with Hef. Really? Crystal Hefner, yeah, she's a Playboy widow of the Playboy founder Hugh Hefner, has a memoir coming out this Tuesday on life in the Playboy mansion, but don't expect it to be any kind of rose-tinted, biography. The title of the 37-year-old former Playmates book only say good things, surviving Playboy and finding myself. So, because basically Hugh Hefner, he said, I want you to continue my legacy going forward. Before he died, he said this to her, and I
Oh.
want to remind you to only say good things about me. Well,
And she's not?
and she's not.
Hmm. He
She's
had it
like,
coming. I mean, this guy, he died just in the nick of time before there was cancellation and all the stuff they'd.
she said he
It's
was
so-
81.
wait, he was only 81 when he died?
He was 81, yeah.
Oh, I thought he was much older.
Well, no, what she's talking about, she met him. No, she met him at 81.
Oh, that's okay. That's what I thought. Oh my God.
And she was 21 in 2008.
You know, you got to love this guy too in a different way. So.
And she took care of him in his final years, but she said she was never in love with him. She goes, I was dealing with a really big power imbalance. It seemed like a world of success and fantasy, but everyone's having to sleep with an 80-year-old. That's like not cool. Hefner Hefner was a control freak. His widows say he would dole out allowance to his girlfriends every week as long as they agreed to spend it on dolling themselves up with like conditions like our nail polish couldn't be anything but some neutral color.
Why is that?
No French manicures.
Why? Why would he care?
It was his preference, I guess. I don't know.
I love a French manicure.
Oh, we know you.
Wish I could
Probably,
get one
we know a
myself.
couple of things you would love. You would like a dress. The infamous Playboy mansion was falling into disrepair, complete with, get this, dirty surroundings, mold, and birds that weren't given enough water.
Oh, I think that castle or whatever at the end, that mansion must have been gross. Like I wouldn't even swim in that fucking pool if I was invited there, you know?
She goes, I feel like I was constantly crying for everything and everybody there. Ew, that's gross. A sex mansion that gets old. Ew. I
Yeah.
can only
You're right.
imagine.
No, it's disgusting.
Yeah, that's nasty. Yeah, outstanding documentary. Oh, okay, Smitty, on Hefner on Amazon Prime.
Oh, good. I would like to see that.
Money will make you do crazy things like sleep with an 80-year-old
Well, I
at
would do that.
20?
I would do that for no money.
At 20?
No, nobody would do that. I mean, I don't know. But didn't Anna Nicole Smith do that too?
Yeah, you see, she paid the price. It never works out.
No.
It never works out. These stories always end pretty bad. You know, you just, I don't know. I like my life.
You do? That's surprising.
I love how I live. I love it.
You shouldn't because
I don't need no.
you know.
I don't need no 80-year-old. You know what's funny is an 80-year-old man would be looking at me like I'm too old for him. That's the part right there. That's
true.
the part. It's like, motherfucker.
I know. I can't, people always say, why don't you go out with somebody your own age? I'm like, are you nuts?
Yeah, we know you, Juskow. We've seen you with your open mic horse.
Oh my God. That girl I'm going out with that's only 20 and my friend is just going like, dude, yeah, she likes you. And I'm like, yeah, but the whole thing's weird. He's like, no, it's not. I'm like, no, it is. It's weird. I mean, she's so sweet, but that's very young.
And then when you talk to her, how's that conversation? What's
the
it like?
conversation's fine. We really have a good time. I mean, she's
until the day you do that impersonation of the woman she doesn't know who you're talking about.
Well, I always find that funny when they don't know what I'm talking about. So I don't know.
Hilarious.
I guess that woman at David Tell's birthday was around our age and she didn't know what we were talking about either. So, it's the individual. That's why I used to like this girl, Tiffany, so much. She's the waitress at the Greenwich Village Comedy Club.
Mm-hmm.
She was really young and she got every reference. She was the best. We should have gotten married. I think she's marrying somebody else.
Outstanding Cars movie on Amazon Prime too. Someone knows
Come on,
you.
you're being very polite. We all know
Someone knows
that movie
you.
stinks. That's very polite. Thank you. Well, he's a really nice guy. He lives in Hawaii.
I remember going to the movie theater to see your movie. Can you
Yeah,
tell everyone about that movie?
at
Because
the
a lot of people
HBO.
don't know about it.
It's called Turbocharge. It's a movie about the band The Cars, and I play Rick Ocasek, the band leader. I get fatter as the movie goes on, which was not in the script, because he was stick thin. But I made the movie all by myself with just the money that I had, so it's not very good. I did the best I could, and if you are high, I believe you will enjoy the movie. If you are not high, you will look at the comments on Amazon Prime and you will be angry just as the other people were who were expecting an actual movie.
Oh.
It is like 84 minutes long, so it is an actual movie, but I think people were actually expecting like a documentary about the cars, so then they get really angry,
Oh.
which
Oh
is
my.
kind of awesome. But then I say to them, I'm like, look, a lot of this stuff is historically correct, and there's never going to be a movie about the cars. So this is all you get. So live with it. Plus, Attell's in it, and Kevin Brennan when people liked him. Uh, who else is in it? We have a lot of our friends in it.
The script is outstanding. The movie
Sherrod.
is not.
Well, whatever, it's not the greatest.
James says, "Get out the gummies."
Yeah, well, that's the key. Get out the gummies. He's completely correct.
I'm not good, Joe, with funniest movies that I've ever seen. I'm not good like that.
Well, I will tell you that this morning I couldn't sleep, and I woke up and at around 6 o'clock and started watching The Naked Gun, which I hadn't
Oh,
seen in a while.
wow.
And of
In a
course, we
while,
love
yeah.
that movie and we know it's funny. But I was in bed watching Still Sleepy, and there was one scene where I was laughing out loud and crying laughing, sitting in bed at 6 a.m, totally exhausted. And it's when he gets into the driving test and the student driver car to follow that car, and the girl is driving, and it's a big girl, so that's supposed to be funny in the 80s. And he's out the back window firing his gun right where that next to that girl's ear. And I was laughing so hard. I'd forgotten about that scene. It's so funny because technically it's really stupid. He gets the student driver and they're doing all the bits, but then he starts firing out the window.
John Ritter used to make me laugh like that.
Oh,
In
me too. On Three's
that
Company.
movie where you
No,
say,
none of his movies.
I know you didn't like the movie where they had the condoms on in the
Oh my
dark,
God.
but that
Skin
was my
Deep.
favorite
Skin
scene.
Deep. That's because our age difference matter here. You saw it at a good place in your life, I guess, some sort of high school point in your life. But I'm telling you, that movie blows.
I also like
The
the
sooner
Chevy
you realize
Chase.
that, the better off you'll be.
The Chevy Chase Funny Farm, I think it was called, or it was
That's
the one
exactly what it was called. I've never seen it.
with
It's
Chevy
good?
Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this one scene where he's got this dog that he gets, and the dog is like never moves, and then one day he throws a ball, and the dog runs after the ball, and he never comes back.
Oh, what is
And
sad.
he's like, "Hey, hey." And it just still cracks me up to this day. Even the image, because Chevy Chase, I know he's not a nice guy, but
Right.
his face makes me laugh. Like
Well, Chevy
it's
Chase
like
was really funny.
he
I mean,
was.
whether he's nice or not, he was an extremely funny guy.
Yeah, he always made me laugh. Um, I do like Key and Peele. This is what I watch to cheer me up sometimes because those.
Really?
Oh my God, Jordan Peele's facial expressions are so funny. And the scenes that they have, there's this one where he plays like a burn victim. And that's not funny, right? But he plays a burn victim in an audience of a
I've never
comedy
seen that
show.
show.
Listen to this, Juskow. In the audience of a comedy show.
Oh, really?
And they're like, he goes, and he's talking kind of like through his throat. And he's like, "You can make fun of me. It won't hurt." And then the comedian does it. And he goes, "Ah."
Well, yeah, that's
He
pretty
goes,
funny.
"That actually hurt." And then the audience turns on the comedian. They're like, "How could you do that?" He goes, No. You could do it again. I'm sorry. I could take it." And he does it again. He goes, "That made me cry." and you and he's like it's like the funniest thing. But I was watching some of even Jordan Key and Peele, and they do a lot of like homophobic,
I'm
like,
sure they do. That was a big thing,
and that
I
wasn't that
mean,
far.
no, they should know better at that point, right?
That was like that not too many years ago, and I was like, oh, look at that. Look how like just like 7 years, just like
Yep.
the jokes that used to be like you could talk like a guy could make fun of a gay guy, and that's gone.
I
And
was
no, it's not gone,
using
gone, but it's
the
gone.
word, the F word for gay people up until just 5 years ago. Said it on stage, didn't even think anything of it. Like not to a gay person, but just like you guys are a couple of, some
I
like
never use that
like
word
from
ever.
from
Oh
Trading
no,
Places.
that's not true. When I was a kid, I like to be in with people and cool, and my uncle was using the word and I had never heard the word before, so
Mhm.
I thought that was the word you use when you see someone
Oh,
walking on
yeah.
the street, because he kept saying there's a F, there's a F, there's a F, so I thought, oh, that's what you do. And I was
Wow.
young, so one day in the car with my mom, I go, there's a F there. And she goes, Marina, what are you doing? Don't you ever.
Good for her,
I
right?
go, well, no, that's what uncle, he said it. And she goes, no, no, no. Don't you ever use that word. You know what that word means? I go, I don't know. That's what it would seem like that's the cool thing to do. And that
Wow.
I just didn't, I had no understanding what the word meant. I didn't know what he was talking about. I was just trying to fit in. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. We imitate, and that's why it's so important to set a good example for people. But our grandparents talked a certain way. How many times I use the word colored people is kind of a joke because my grandparents would say it all the time, and who knows if they were
Now
even
we
being
have
racist.
friends in South Africa who are watching us and they use colored people. That's a term that they use.
I know it's weird. It's a strange one, and I love it. I'm
But
sorry, I
it's
love the
different
word.
there. It has a whole different meaning in South Africa than it does here. It doesn't have the connotation, I don't think. And it's just like anyone who's
God, everywhere I mean, everyone I knew in New
colored.
Jersey at that time just used that word. But remember, then wasn't that the correct word for a while to call them colored? Didn't
I don't
wasn't
know. I wasn't around when they was using it. So I don't know.
oh,
I was
I
just
guess
like
I was.
I don't, like
I've told you before how, and this is fascinating. It's so different. It is different today. Maybe
yeah,
not in
our orange
Alabama, but
person, Trump would be considered a colored person. That's
excellent
hilarious.
point. What an asshole! What an unbelievable idiot!
Didn't he confuse like
I can't believe he
today?
won so well. I can't believe he's doing so well in the polls. It's really fucked
Well,
up.
he's not in the general election though. So that's the thing.
Are
He
you
may have
sure? How do you know the difference?
this is because this is not the general election. This is
Oh, the
for the Republic.
primaries.
Yeah,
I know, but still, like, we don't want him to be the candidate at
well,
all.
we got a couple of people out there who really are confused and like are really like impressed by celebrityism and people just basically getting away with shit. That's what's going on. People don't read. If there's an advantage to keeping Americans as dumb as they are acting. And if he becomes our president again, we deserve every bit that we get. That's all I have to say because it is up to us.
I
It
guess you're
is.
right.
So we deserve it. And I'm just going to sit back because, well, I'm not going to sit back. I think I have to leave or something. But Joe Biden is already, he's like forgiving so many loans. And, I get the war is a whole other issue. Like people are really upset about the war right now. Right.
Right.
But my thing is we only have, it looks like we only got like two choices. So one is a really bad choice. I think both are not great, but one is awful.
Yeah.
One is really about our democracy at play, being in trouble. He's talking about like having the power of a dictator. I don't know if it's like you could just hear it. He's saying everything. And I don't know why the judge, he's always like, get control. Like this judge seems to like the fact that Trump has these outbursts in court because he gives him the opportunity to speak and say way more than any of us would ever have a chance to say in court. Am I right?
Maybe there. I don't know. I'm not watching the thing, but maybe there's something about him being the president of the United States at one point. Maybe there's some form of respect that you have to show there. I mean, it is different than anything else. It's really weird. Right?
Yeah. No, it is. It's weird. I'm not getting into the mass incarceration. I'm just stating the facts. We have two choices, and neither one is great, but one choice is definitely the end of democracy. So I'm not getting into the facts of the war. I'm not getting into that.
Correct.
I will not.
I won't do it. That's
I
why I
won't
won't do
do
2
it.
shows a night. I won't do it.
What? Who's that?
Beetlejuice. That's why I will not do 2 shows a night. I won't do it. It's my favorite part of the movie.
Oh my God. Hey, there's this wonderful article about, speaking of being happy. Mr. Noy says the judge is in a bad place of damn if you do, damn if you don't. Well, I mean, he took the case. Didn't he have a choice? Single
Well,
ladies
it's like
celebrate.
Judge Ito. Did he have
Single
to put
ladies
cameras in?
celebrate this home ownership fee. So remember how I was saying, like, I'm really happy where I'm at? More
Yeah.
single female Americans own homes than single men per the latest research. Women in the U.S. still earn around, though less, 82 cents for every dollar earned by men. But when it comes to single ladies,
All the single ladies.
they own in their homes. This is from
Makes
the
sense. They're
lending
smarter
tree.
than we are. Duh.
Yeah, that women on their own claim 2.71 million more homes in their name than single guys, with single women notching close to 13% of owner-occupied homes across the nation. I need to let me ask you this: how's your heat right now? Because
It's excellent.
the fuck, my landlord is really doing some crazy stuff right now.
No, it's really. I just turned it on yesterday for the first time. It's fantastic.
What do you mean you turned it on?
I usually don't turn it on because it gets so hot, but today it's perfect.
Oh, it's
really only turn it on unless it goes below 25.
He is playing games with us. And I said it in front of the camera that he had in the hallway. I go, I see what you doing.
Now, what makes you think he's playing games?
Because it's usually very hot around this
time. And of course, the other thing is you do live in Harlem. This is like legendary.
No, I've never
like
had
that.
any issues. This is the
Oh,
first.
you're saying it's too hot.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not hot. So
We've never had
coming out?
issues. It's just he's got this new thing he's doing. I think he's really read the law, and he knows that each apartment, when it drops below 55 degrees, legally the apartment could be at 65 degrees, which is actually still pretty cold.
I don't know what you're talking about. Wait, how does he know what everybody's apartment
Because he's
temperature
read.
is?
Because
That's an old building.
He's put heat things in certain apartments.
So you are not in control of your heat.
No.
You sure? You don't have
Yeah.
a radiator that you can?
I do, and I turned it up.
Oh.
And it's still not hot. And then my window, like the air conditioner thing, I got the I had to put
DJ
a plastic.
Eric
I
can
need
control his heat. That's nice.
I need new windows. So I wrote them today. I said I need new windows, please.
Well, I think you can get that if you ask.
I asked. We'll see what they say. You keep yours at 65, James? 65 is cold. I don't know. Of course, James, are you of the European persuasion? You say you're like it cold. I'm from Africa. This is some bullshit. I need some steam up in this bitch. Have you seen that movie on Netflix? It's really great. It's like fastly becoming like on Netflix, the top movie. The snow. I want to always get it right. Hold on.
All I know is there's something on Amazon Prime.
Society of the Snow.
I haven't heard of it, but there's something on Amazon Prime that my kids told me about that I hadn't seen, and everybody got angry at me. It's called Salt something or other.
Well, first of all, this Society of the Snow has earned itself a position in Netflix's top 10 non-English language movies list of all time after less than, get this, 2 weeks. Society of the Snow chronicles a harrowing true story, dramatizing. Hold on. Dramatizing the lengths that a rugby team goes to survive after their plane crashes in the Andes Mountains in 1972. Do you
Well, that's the
remember
movie
this?
Alive.
Do you remember that?
Of course, they made that movie Alive about it.
Well, they've made several movies about it. They have said this, but this is the most
That's the
successful.
cannibalistic one, right? They started
Yes,
eating each other. Yes, that's a
but
legendary story.
this is the most successful one.
Oh, they just did another one about it?
And the film is in Spanish
Is
and
that necessary?
it's so good.
You know, do we need all those movies about cannibalism? It's
Well,
fucked
I
up.
mean, let me tell you, I
I won't
didn't
see that
really.
movie because of that. I don't want to watch that.
Oh, well, yeah, I had to take some breaks from it, but
Oh,
I
you
will
you watched
say,
this
okay,
one or Alive?
because it really pulled me
Wait,
in.
this new one you watched?
Society of the Snow is much better than they're saying that it's much better than all the makes of all the movies, and the survivors two of them are still alive.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Shouldn't they be in jail?
Well, they had permission to
What
eat
they
their
do to
friends.
Army Hammer? Why isn't he around anymore?
Who
Exactly.
let's just
The guy who
say
played the
Juskow.
Winklevoss and the Winklevi and Social Network, and then he started wanting to eat people, his girlfriends and stuff, and now he's canceled. He was in
Oh, that's
Tell
right.
Me Your Name. What's the one with Timothy Chalamet where they're all gay?
Oh yeah.
Call Me by Your Name. Ugh.
Oh. So let me ask you this: would you,
With
Juskow, if
Jew.
you were in a plane crash, would you do that?
It's hard to say because we don't know that level of hunger, thank God.
They said their bodies were starting to eat themselves.
Right. Well, that's probably true. I mean, if you don't eat, it's going to be fucked up. But
I didn't know your body starts to eat itself.
I mean, I think a lot of fucked up shit happens if you're not eating.
Oh, well,
It's just
excuse
our
me.
bodies aren't meant to be that way.
Or you without your Pop-Tarts, what would you do?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I think I could last for about a week.
You
I just
probably wouldn't even wait for the person to die. You'd be
right.
like
Well,
killing people.
remember, I just went to an all-you-can-eat rib place, so I'm probably good for a month. I think I'll make it before there's trouble.
This one was in Spanish and it kept my attention the whole time. Except for I had to take a break from the eating of
Right. Good
people.
point, DJ. Even Muslims can eat pork if need be. Right. All the stuff in the Hebrew
Well,
and the
they were
Muslim thing
religious.
where
That's the
the
thing is
rugby
that
team was religious.
the group that were
The
they
rugby
were
team.
from Uruguay. They were a Catholic, so it was a very
Well, there's your answer.
they were praying about it. They had to pray about eating their friends before they did it. They had
Oh
to
my.
pray on that.
No, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard because if you're out there and you need to eat your friends, praying is clearly not the answer. Praying hasn't worked for you. No one should be in that situation.
Well, the pilot who was flying the plane, they
You'll
said
eat
that
me
he
if you're hungry
was
enough to.
amateur. How do you get information about a pilot before you get on the plane? Can you get that?
Well, they usually give you the information as every comic has ever done a bit. This is the captain. We're going to be flying on this 747 Boeing. First time I'm flying. Happy to be here. I'm from Texas myself.
I'm like getting off that goddamn plane. I'm like, excuse me, I gotta go. Look at this. I'm going hunting. I am not eating Juskow. Well, there was no food anywhere. That was the thing. And then it was a crazy trip,
I would start eating some of the plane engine. Klinger
Well,
did that on MASH. She tried to eat a whole Jeep.
they did consider eating the leather belts and stuff like that, but then they thought the toxins, they were smart enough to go, this has toxins in it. They could die from that.
Oh, it's so fucked up. It's so fucked
But
up.
the movie is more than
Ugh.
just that part. It's like that's the thing I think they captured is more than just it's about how they navigated survival because they gave up the search, They were like decided no longer to look for them because they couldn't. It was in a very remote
So
area.
how many people survived?
I think there was like 12. Hold on. Let me
Really?
see.
Out of how many?
35, I think. Let's see here.
And the good news is the people that were dying that they had to chop up and eat, they were able to they could keep them frozen for a while and then cook them up.
Yeah, they were frozen.
Yeah.
And they gave them permission before they died. Like the
Wow.
the people who knew they were dying were like,
Do
"You have
not
my."
eat my penis.
They actually said it's okay. You can,
Wow. Ugh.
we have Duncan on here who could give us some information if you're
Is he going to come
available.
on?
No,
I want to see
he's
what he
just
looks
gonna
like.
give us some information in the chat. Could you give us some information on
They had no fire.
how many people survived that? And it was in the Andes. It was
I don't understand. They had no fire. They were just eating everybody raw. I thought they figured out a way to make fire.
well, they were also an avalanche happened.
Yeah, I know, but it's like the 70s. Everybody had a lighter with them or matches.
So, okay, so Duncan, you're here. So can you check how many people survived in Society of the Snow? What were the remaining survivors? And did they use fire? I don't think they used fire. I think because yeah, that was the thing is like they had a number of survivors that was actually pretty good, but they had injuries.
Oh.
After they gave up the search, obviously the injuries, people couldn't sustain those injuries. And then while they were hanging out, an avalanche happened and it smothered
Oh.
some of them.
Oh, wow.
About 12 of them.
God, sometimes all I think about is the
Okay,
movie.
thank you.
I think about the
Yes.
movie Castaway.
16 survivors.
out of 37. That's pretty
Yes.
good. But I think about the movie Castaway when he had the toothache, he had the cavity.
Oh, yes. Oh.
I think about that all the time.
Oh, I do too. I do too.
It's something that's so stupid, so easy to fix in a regular world, right? That scene's so disturbing. He passes out, hits his head on the rock.
Could you have done that to yourself?
I don't know. I think about it all the time. I try to think, could I do it to myself? Could I actually extract a tooth on my own with an ice skate? I don't know.
Stop.
Yeah, I guess if you have to survive, your other choice is just not just the pain, but you're probably going to die from it.
I'm letting you know right now, Juskow, I'd rather die than to eat your flesh.
I don't know. I'm pretty tasty. You know
I'm
how much
out.
I
I'm
eat.
out.
I probably have a lot of fat that's delicious.
I'm gonna be like, it was a good life.
I don't know, Marina.
No, your body is is worse than those leather seats.
It probably tastes delicious. I probably taste delicious.
Oh, here, James.
I'm gonna have chili tonight.
Oh, stop! It reminds me of Red Fox's joke. He was
Turkey
in
chili.
Borneo and invited me to a cookout. Really? The tribal chef asked him if was having a good time, and he said, "I'm having a ball." The chief said, "You're eating too fast."
I'm coming, Elizabeth.
I get it. He's
Where my
having a
Jews at?
ball. He says you're eating too fast. Oh my god! How are you doing with your New Year's resolution? Is it over?
My New Year's resolution was to drink as much as possible when everybody else had a dry January, so it's going great.
Is that? I thought you weren't drinking.
No, I'm totally drinking and eating as much as possible. I'm partying like it's 1984 instead of 2024. When everybody else was on dry January, I say, let's party as much as possible.
Speaking of Dan again, I saw Dan eating healthy and it made me want to cry.
Yeah, what's the point?
I was like, Dan, you don't look like you're fine.
Yeah,
he had like salmon and olive.
Yeah, he always has that.
And like one feta cheese.
Well, when you're at the cellar, if you're eating there every day, I guess you have to eat healthy once in a while because there's just too much.
Yeah, you can't we know people who have passed away eating every day like that.
Sure
you
do.
Can't. I mean, my God, you can't.
What did you think my resolution was? I'm sorry.
I don't know what it was.
I didn't make one. I never make one.
You didn't. You don't. Oh, I thought you did.
Usually, my resolution is to party as much as possible. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. And it's to have a good time and have a better time and not take things so seriously. And so far, 20 days in, I have not been depressed. I have been in a very good mood.
What?
I'm going out a lot more.
Say word.
Yeah, I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying. I'm excited about teaching. That always kept me excited. And I'm enjoying doing comedy, which I've never liked before. So when I do have gigs, I'm really enjoying them. because I think I got better talking about myself finally.
Hmm.
So weird all these years, and I don't hate my job. So
Oh, by the way, speaking of parties, at David Tell's party, I noticed he didn't blow out the candle.
yeah, he used the
He
yes,
waved.
he said it was a COVID induced thing. He made that very clear. You saw that picture, that woman putting her hand in and everything. You saw that horrible
Yeah.
woman. Then you can see what we're talking about. But yeah, isn't that interesting? He takes a plate and he does it like that.
I thought that was very
It is interesting.
interesting.
It's brilliant. That's exactly the right thing to do. I blew out a candle once and nobody ate the cake. I guess I got too wet.
That's gross.
Yes,
Do
it
we
is.
have some reviews, Juskow?
Well, the reviews we do have, but they're not from this year.
What are you talking about?
Well, they're not from
Oh, okay.
2024.
Okay. All
Some
right.
of them
Well,
are
so
old.
let's hear some. There was some comments on our Instagram that they liked this episode that was out from the Gossiping Heifers. The Gossiping Heifers have been on the show before. I love their name.
I have not seen that. I got there's actually this one doesn't make any sense. So and then there's one that says from TikTok. It says, "Why be stuck in the past when there can be more laughter in the future?" But then it says, "Plus, the sooner we as a collective stop talking about him, he loses relevance faster." I don't know who they're talking
All
about.
right. I have a review here. I'll
I'm
read it.
sorry. It's just the reviews.
No,
I was going to talk to you
I'll
about this if you really wanted me to do them because I didn't get. I don't think they're.
I'll read the one that I wanted. This is the one that's on the actual Apple Podcast page. Friends Like Us, it was from last year, and I'm sure we've read it before, but I just want to reread it. Friends Like Us is a warm-hearted, funny, upbeat listen. Marine Franklin, they didn't spell my name right, but that's
Everybody
okay.
spells everything I've gotten. Everybody's just spelled wrong.
Marine Franklin is the host. She gets wonderful, inspiring people, mostly from the entertainment and arts community, to interview and discuss the topics of the day. There is also relevant discussions of culture pertaining to New York City, the comedy of big cities, and New York City specifically. It is pleasant to hear a discussion that raises awareness and well being. Was this review helpful? I'm going to say yes, it was. So there. Yay.
That's nice.
Isn't that nice?
It is.
So what do you think about our mayor
I
this
love
week retracting all of his budget? Speaking of New York City and my awareness of it.
I don't know. All I know is again this week I went past the Migrants Hotel. I finally saw some women and children this time, which was odd. You usually just see men out there. I'm still fascinated by it. And now I was on the other side this time. I usually go to the back. This time I was in the front, and I'm fascinated when I walk by there just to see the people that are hanging out. But they just want to hang out even in this cold weather because I guess I don't know what's going on inside, but it can't be good. But with regards to the mayor, I didn't know what he was. I know something's up, and he's
His
taking away
budget,
money,
he
and
had to retract his
he keeps
he's,
going up and up.
he said
Right?
he didn't have any money, and then he was like, "Oh, we got money.
Yeah, that's right. I heard about.
These cuts we were gonna make." I can't hear you for some reason.
Oh, it's probably my fault. I keep mixing up the mic.
Which
I'm
is
sorry.
so perfect, actually. It was
Can you
kind
hear
of
me
fun.
now?
Yeah, now I hear you.
Yeah, it's this thing. But that's why we never get a good mayor because who would want to run? You're between a rock and a hard place with everybody. There's not one right answer.
Thank you, Eric. He has one person attending my Houston show. Thank you.
I have somebody attending, but they don't like you. But they don't have anything to do that night.
Then why are they coming?
I'm kidding. I would like you to get her a ticket.
Yeah, send me her information. I'll hook her up. And Eric, by the way, anyone you want me to hook up, let me know. I think I get comps. I don't know.
Where is it again?
It's in Houston, Texas. It's at the Secret. It's weird. They have like I guess it's like the location is called the Secret Group. But the venue, the people who produce it is called the Comedy Space. And the guy is really awesome. He's been trying to get me on for a while. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I haven't been to Houston. So yeah, back to the mayor. So today, I guess he vetoed the ability for cops to report and have more transparency about what they're doing. So, like, for example, like after they pull you over, they have to write it out
I
or
thought they always
before.
had to do that.
I think it's more transparency. Like there's like a checking, like it's like an annoying, like, did
Well,
you
that's
do
good
this?
news.
Did
That
you
means
do
they're
this?
never
Did
going to
you do
pull
this?
anybody over because they weren't going to do the work.
And that's what the mayor said. He goes, I don't want to give these guys more of a delay than they absolutely need in doing their job. But Jamal Williams, I think that's his name, Jamon Williams, who is a part of the committee, has said you can you can fill the paperwork out whenever you want. It's up to you how you do it. We're
Oh,
not
that's
trying
good.
to tell you how to do it. We're just saying we need transparency because not all cops are good cops.
Right.
So there. Thank you. Yes, the secret group, Polk, Houston, Texas. Yeah. All right, we gotta get out of here. I got an early show today at Gotham.
Yeah, I
You
got to
guys
start
heard
cooking.
it.
I got to watch
I,
the football games. A lot going on.
there's a lot going on, and I also want you guys to remember to check out this week's episode because we have Ashima Franklin who was
Oh,
on
she's good.
tour.
She's good.
She is. She's
Ashima.
from.
Yeah,
I've
she's
been
your
trying
sister.
to. I've been trying to. Well, you never know. My dad was fun. Um.
That's what a polite way of saying it.
Yeah. But she was on tour with Cat Williams. So it's a good interview. It's a fun one. She's from Alabama originally, which I always ask people if they're from Alabama
Ashima.
and they're black. I go, "Are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, is
I bet.
everything all right?"
Why would they stay there?
Well, she has a very good answer, and she's Alabama's home to her. So it's a good episode to listen to. So that's coming out this Wednesday. And if you haven't got caught
It's
up,
not even good for white people there.
get caught up on the one that's out right now with Holly Harper and Noye Brown West. We're talking about, is it
I do
Hollywood?
like Noye Brown West.
Hollywood likes men in dresses. Why?
Do they?
Is it funny still? Yes. All right. Yeah, Ashima. Yeah, Venus. This is the first time Ashima has been on the podcast. So you want to listen to it.
King
because
Friday, I presume.
She's got that
Lady Aberlin, I
yeah.
presume. I'm doing my King Friday imitation because he's got it up there.
Yeah, speaking of the Illuminati, you're right. All right, guys. Want to thank you so much, Juskow. Tell our listeners about your show that they can catch.
With the Elks Club? You're
Not-
welcome, everybody, in advance. Weehawken
not
at the Elks
that.
Club. It's going to be awesome.
Hmm.
Otherwise, Tuesday nights, the Comedy Cellar show on YouTube, 6 o'clock. We'll see you then.
Yeah, and
Well, that's it.
Sarah Silverman show.
Oh, yeah, that's on February 11th. I got some time. That's the day before the day of the Super Bowl.
You have to
Stupid
always
pit
mention
tricks.
that. Not everyone who's on.
All right,
is
the
on.
day after the day just before the Super Bowl on TBS and Discovery Channel and Animal Planet, Stupid Pet Tricks with Sarah Silverman and me as the head writer dog.
Yeah.
And the bunny. And the annoying bunny.
Love it. And you guys make sure that you go and check out the podcast, Friends Like Us. It's in the link tree that's scrolling. I don't have a French manicure to but my fingers are okay. Okay. I use all organic products. So it's there. This is where you get the podcast. And also, like I said, as we were just discussing, you could go to Houston, Texas and see me at the secret group for Comedy Space. Yes. And also Bethlehem, Pennsylvania at the Still Stacks. That's February 10th. Bethlehem. And, really exciting. I forgot to mention this, Juskow. I was able to get an ad for my show on my own.
Oh, for your podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Finally did it.
Wow, that's really good.
I have no idea how to do all this stuff. And there's this new thing called OSA Collective. And they wrote to me and they were like, would you be interested? And I was like, absolutely. You get to pitch your own, you get to say to the ad, hey, I'd love to have you on my podcast. It's really easy. So I'm going to be doing an ad for menopause in the middle of my show, which you guys, I talk about it a lot. So this is so great and awesome. And we'll be making
good.
some currency. So finally,
All right.
thank God.
There you go.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, everybody. Don't forget to wash your hands. If you wear a mask still, you see all these respiratory illnesses are on a rise, and Black Lives Matter. Take care of yourselves.
Good night,
We'll
everybody.
see you next week. Peace. Oh, let me give you a